Hey everybody, 4 and 6 Psych here. This is my, what do we call it? Creative world. My test world where I come in and try and, do test builds of bases, whatever. Try and figure out how far out I can stack this or that kind of thing. And it's where I do my tutorials sometimes. Like the last one was not in the creative world, it was in just a new game that I had started for doing a quick tutorial to show you how you could get a base up um, on day one before nightfall. So I wanted to do another tutorial. Somebody was asking me about the forge. So this one's going to be a tutorial on the forge. And then I was thinking I might do a tutorial on the fireplace as well. So I just wanted to start out with um, the forge. What is it for? It's for smelting metals and using those smelted metals to um, create tools and weapons and that kind of stuff. Also for some other materials for building, for instance, cobblestone or not cobblestone, cement, concrete. You can make glass jars, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty useful. There's two things in the game that you kind of need to have um, in conjunction with the forge, although not really. For instance, one of the things that everybody seems to worry about is the calipers. And the calipers, and rightly so, one of the things that the calipers allow you to do in the forge is to use brass to make bullet casings. Without the calipers, you're not making any ammo. You can pick up bullet casings and make ammo that way, and you can find ammo, but you're not going to be making your own casings and mass producing ammo. You're going to be limited to what you can scrounge up. Now, the other thing that you can find is the tool and die set. And the tool and die set allows you to create rockets and rocket tips. That's it. Or rocket casings and rocket tips. And that's it. So really, um, as far as it goes, the tool and die set, I don't know, I guess some people might use it, I suppose. I know I never have. Um, I guess it would be convenient to be able to use the rockets on some of the later Horde nights when, it's pretty stiff competition. And as far as the calipers go, um, I would say, yeah, calipers are a game changer because they allow you to do steel arrowheads and steel. That of course allows you to make steel arrows, but it also makes you capable of making the steel crossbow bolts, which I think also allows you to make some of the more powerful crossbow bolts, like the exploding. I think uses the steel crossbow bolts. So calipers are pretty much a game changer. I don't know, as far as that goes for me, like I said, I could live without the rockets. It's not going to do that much. So let's take a look real quick at the forge. In order to create the forge, you need small stone, lumps of clay, the bellows, and short iron pipe. 50 stone, 50 clay, one bellows, and one short iron pipe that acts as, I think that they're trying to make it seem like the uh, air intake for the forge. You can get your clay when you look, these brown areas on the map, that's clay. So a bunch of clay right here, a bunch of clay over there. I imagine there it is right there. That's what clay looks like. You can see that that's a whole different shade of brown. There's more green in the regular ground, more brown in that. I'm going to leave that for now, and I think we'll use that in a different tutorial. So one of the items that we needed was the bellows. Let's take a look at that. The bellows takes wood, animal hides, and short iron pipes to make. 20 short iron pipes, I would think, is going to be somewhere in the area of maybe 3 to 5 deer, maybe 2 to 3 bear, or 2 bear and a deer, maybe 5 to 8 pigs, or 20 rabbits. You should be able to get enough hides off of those. If you're using a knife that's of decent quality, you should be able to get enough animal hides to do that. So, I guess let's start out by making some of that stuff. We'll make the, if we can get in there and do the right thing, we'll make the bellows. You can see that I gave myself a bunch of stuff just to make this easier to flow. I wasn't going to go out and collect it. Like I said, this is my creative world, and it is where I give myself items to make test bases, stuff like that. So we need 8 wood, 20 animal hides, and 1 short iron pipe. You can see I've got short iron pipe. I gave myself animal hides. I have a bunch of wood. So we're good to go there. And we're going to craft that. That's going to take 44 seconds. Now, I wanted to show you a couple of quick things. The refrigerator. You'll see I'm getting scrap metal in the bottom right hand corner. And right there, I just got scrap cable and short iron pipes. So having used 1 short iron pipe, there it is back again. And it's taking its own sweet time. There we go. So now that we have the bellows, if you look at the recipes, the only thing it's good for is crafting the forge. 50 small stone, 50 lumps of clay, 1 bellows, 1 short iron pipe, and we're going to craft the forge as well. Now, one other place that you can get short iron pipes from are toilets, and you can see, boom, got one right there. And I think also springs, gasoline, a radiator. I'm not positive, but I was pretty sure that you also got short iron pipes for cars. I guess I never particularly paid a ton of attention. Oh, right there, short iron pipes. So now that we have our forge done, let's get to work. Actually, let's come over here real quick. You can see I set up some chests to put stuff in. And I'm going to put crafting materials that we don't need up in here. Alright. So your forge, you would put it on your bar and place it. Put it wherever it is that you think that you want it. You can change the direction it's facing. So if you wanted to, I don't know why you'd want it to, but I guess you could put it on its side or face down so you could have it up in the ceiling. You could do whatever kind of weirdness you want. And I guess that's as good a place as any. So we've created the forge. Now let's talk about the tools. The things that go into the forge we talked about already. The tool and die set. The tool and die set is, of course, like we discussed, it's used for making the rocket casings and rocket tips. So we'll put that in there. And you can see that this is now available because it is opened up. It's got the white book instead of the gray one. The next thing you would put in, if possible, is the calipers. And of course that gives us the steel arrowhead if we have clay and iron smelted in, and if we have oh no, you don't have to have the steel to actually make it. It makes the steel in the process of making it. What was the other thing? Oh, bullet casings. If we had the brass, they would show up as well. And then last but not least is the anvil. The anvil is used to make pretty much anything that is not forged iron bars. I'm not entirely positive, but I think that pretty much everything else uses the anvil. Nothing's coming up yet because we haven't burnt anything in. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about fuel for the stove for a second. Couple of things that I have noticed people never use, and I don't understand why, because they're right there, they're readily available, and I try and use them all the time. End tables, the ones with the lamps on them, 32 seconds of burn time for one of those end tables. The ones without the lamps, 32 seconds. Burn time for one of those. Wooden chairs, man, either wooden chairs for 1 minute and 20 seconds of burn time, or old chairs for 32 seconds of burn time. You know, these are in almost every house, and you don't have to take time to chop them down. They're just there, right? So why not? Let's talk about wood. Other stuff that you can put into your furnace or into your campfire to burn would be wood. For each one piece of wood, you get 10 seconds. You can see that right there, 10 seconds. For each lump of coal, yeah, that's wasteful, but again, it's my creative world. I don't have to worry about it. For each lump of coal that you put in here, you get double that, 20 seconds. So, you know, if you're not worried about gunpowder, and maybe you've already leveled that up, you don't need to make any more gunpowder, then coal works very well and lasts twice as long in your furnace. The last thing, well, not the last thing, but coal ore. This used to be oil shale or coal shale. Used to burn for quite a while, but now it no longer burns. I believe that the coal shale or coal ore is now going to be only usable for making fuel for like the mini bike and the auger, stuff like that. So while that used to be a very good alternative, it seems like they've removed that from the game. Let's take a look real quick. Right here. Let's take a look at this one. This is what I was actually thinking of. Coal ore. I'm going to have to do some research. I'm not sure what the coal ore is for. The oil shale used to burn for quite a long time, but is now only worth 5 seconds. So there you have it. Fuel for your stove. Alright. Let's light this rocket. So the first thing you want to do is start melting something in there. You gotta smelt stuff. You know what? Before we do that, let's also talk about this. So let's see here. Alright, so I think the ratio on this used to be better, but let's test this out. We no longer need that for demonstration, or that. Alright, so if we scrap a can, we get 1 iron. If we put that 1 iron into the furnace and smelt it, we get, there we have it, 5. If we take a can without scrapping it and put it in, we get 5 more. The ratio there used to be greater, I think. Let's try that with the pistol grip. Scrapping that gave us 1. Smelting it gave us 5. Smelting the pistol grip ought to take us to 20. 25. So it appears as if different items give us different ratios. Because that pistol grip, where it gave us just 1 scrap, which equaled 5 smelted, when we smelted directly the pistol grip, we got 10 instead of 5. So, we illustrated a couple of things there. The less you scrap, the better you're going to be off, essentially. In order to make a lot of these things, you need clay and iron. So we're going to put those in there. This is how you load your forge so that you're able to do your blacksmithing and your forging, your smelting, all of that. When you put the stuff in there, you can see it's down to $9.99 now. Clay is going up every few seconds. So there you have it. We're loading that in, and it's working just fine. Let's close that one. And open this one. And we'll use our wood there. Half of it anyway. In this one, we're going to melt in some stone. And we're going to look at this ratio. If we put in 1 scrap lead, we get 5. If we put in 1 lead fishing weight, we get 5. Let's see. If we scrap a trophy, looks like we got 1. If we put a trophy in here, we get, starting at 10 right now, we get 10. So again, we demonstrate that it is definitely better to not scrap the items before we put them in there, if at all possible. So we got the stone cooking away. Got some lead going in there. I just want to get a little bit built up there. And then back over here, I really don't need these anymore. Let's just drop these off to get them out of the way. Put the wrench in there. Alright, so let's go in there. Alright, so I think we've got enough iron in there at the moment, 200. Let's take a look at glass. If we put 1 glass in there, we get 5 glass. If we put 1 glass pane in there, we get 10. If we put crushed sand in there, you'll see for each 1 sand, we're getting 5. So we'll let that burn for just a second. Alright, so we got 145 lead. That's good enough for our purposes. We'll continue to let that run out for a minute. Let's take a look at brass. If we put 1 brass in there, we get 5. If we scrap a candlestick, we get 3 brass. No, we get 4, because this was at $9.99. Let's put that in there and see what we get. We're at 5. And that took us to 35. So you can see, actually, we tested this already. I think it was just 5. That should take us to 40. When it gets around to it, I've noticed that these two input areas, there we go, 40. I've noticed that they burn at different rates also. Alright, let's take a look at the radiators. 500. Oh, I missed that. Oh, it gave us 7 right there. So if we scrap it, we get 7. Let's find out how many we get if we smelt it. Brass is at 120 from 70, so almost double. That's not too shabby. Let's take a look at this. If we scrap the tokens, which you don't want to do, we get 1 brass. Because we went from 507 to 508. If you smelt a token, we're going to go from 120 to, I suspect it's going to be, I thought it was 121, maybe it's going to be 125. Now the reason we don't want to smelt the tokens is because when Alpha 15 rolls out, the tokens are going to be currency and you'll be able to go and buy stuff with those, whether it's gunpowder, ammunition, 121, so it was worth 1. You're going to be able to buy whatever the stuff is that you need to buy from the traders. Alright, so what do we got? Brass is smelting in, we got plenty of stone in there, lead, glass. What I should do is take a little bit of clay out of there. We're going to call that enough. I'm going to put some brass in. Got plenty of glass burned in there, so I'm going to put lead. Alright, so there we have lead, we have brass. Put the iron in there. Got stone already. I just want to get rid of this one piece of glass. There we go. Alright. Iron, brass, lead. Alright, let's give that a second to burn and we'll go eat. Alright. Might as well throw this in there too. Glass. Burn that right in. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, stone. Oh, it's brass. 115 on the brass. I think we're doing okay there. Consolidate all of this. Alright. So let's talk real quick about what's in there. Say, pretty common. You want to move. you've got a new base that you're building, whatever, and you have a forge set up at your first temporary base, you want all this iron back. How do you get it? I mean, it's easy enough for these. You pull it out, right? Well, same here. Huh. Well, how am I going to get this out of there? Easy. Come over here and tell it what you want. You want iron? Type iron. Click it. And we'll say 10. There it is. Same with brass. Same goes with clay, stone, glass, lead. You can take out of this broken glass, a glass pane, or a glass jar. Now the only thing you can't do is you can't take sand back out, even though that's what it was that you put in. And there's no way to get that sand back into a sand form that I'm aware of, which means going out and getting more rock. So, I think that's pretty close to it. If you want to, let's talk about building materials. If you want to make concrete blocks, you need cement. How can we, let's see. Oh, darn it. Yeah. Alright. So we can't do that because in this test world we don't have concrete mixing yet. And, well, we still don't have the requirements. But that's easy enough. Let's take a look. If we wanted to do cement, we'd go there, we'd choose cement. We'd say we want to make 45 now, because it's burning in the rock. And we'd craft that. Once you're done, if you have the concrete mixing ability, you would come over here, you'd make sure that you have sand, you'd have small stone, and the cement mix that you just made, and that would allow you to make your concrete mix. The concrete mix would then allow you to make the concrete blocks. That's pretty easy. One thing a lot of people are not aware of, let's go right here and do tab. Cobblestone. We're going to do 20 of those. I wasn't even aware of this. But we're going to punch a couple of plants here and get some plant fibers. Alright. In order to do cobblestone, a second. You. Pretty sure. There we go. Cobblestone. See how I just repaired that? Cobblestone will repair that just like that. Having it... Oh, guacamole. Well, I was a dipstick. Anyway, let's... I think I may need more than that. Cobblestone, rocks. Alright. So, we're going to make those back up. So, you can use those not only to repair flagstone, cobblestone, that kind of thing, but it's the upgrade path, I think, to Adobe. And then, cobblestone frame. We're going to craft one of those. It takes 1 plant fiber and 5 wood. We're going to put this down. And if we put that there, then we can upgrade that by right-clicking on our mouse. Boom. To a cobblestone block. In order to upgrade it further, we need concrete mix. But you can see that's a 1500 hit point block. That's a 500 hit point block. This didn't take a lot to make. Cobblestone rocks takes 1 rock, 1 clay. And clay, if you remember, is frickin' everywhere. Right? All that brown. That's all clay. So, for 1 small stone and 1 clay, man, you could have a heck of a first night base. Just like that. Alright. What else? I think that was it. We smelted stuff into the forge. We took stuff out of the forge. We learned how to make cobblestone frames and cobblestone so that you could put them into a halfway decent first night base. And that repairs, of course. You saw that repaired with cobblestone. We built the forge. We fueled the forge. Easy enough to take stuff in and out. You saw that. When it's not burning, you can take the fuel right out. Yeah. I guess the only other thing that I would show you is this. Arrow, stone axe, wooden club. These are all things that you end up with in pretty decent quantity in early game. And say you get the ability, you get your forge up and running and you start making iron arrowheads, you might have, I don't know, you might have 100. Arrows left. Each of those arrows is 13 seconds of burn time. Right? So say you're getting ready to start making iron arrows, you think, you know what, I can't scrap that anymore, right? Nope. All I can do is drop it. Or I could put it into my inventory and let it take up space. Maybe I'll need it later on, but chances are pretty good you won't. take that 100 arrows, put it in there, and you've got 13 minutes of burn time. And that's not shabby, right? Say you spend your first night spamming wooden clubs. That's 35 seconds a club that you could use for cooking, right? Stone axe, 17 seconds an axe. Sure, you know, you've got to store them someplace, but frankly, but it's inexpensive to make secure storage chests. You're gonna put that in there. You get 8 seconds here. That's enough to boil the water. 12 seconds for the axe. 30 instead of 35 seconds for the club. Right? Whereas one wood gets us 10 seconds. It's kind of in the middle. It's a little lower. You know, it's higher than the arrow, but lower than either of those. You dump 100 arrows in there, and you've got 13 minutes and 20 seconds. So, I think you see where I'm driving there, right? Some of that stuff looks like it might not be that great to have, but certainly it is. It'll do you some good in the long run. No, look at that, it's getting dark. Thank goodness there's no zombies in this world. Because I have no doors. Or windows. So that's it. That was the Forge tutorial. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments section below. And I will get them answered one way or another. If you like what you saw, click the like button. We already told you about the comment section. You don't have to ask questions. You could just leave comments. What else? Subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you're, I don't know, a returning customer who's been here a bunch of times but haven't subscribed yet. Go ahead and do that, and you'll get notice when I put up new videos like this one. If you have friends, tell them about the channel. Send them on over and have them take a look. Maybe you've got somebody new that has just started playing the game and they're trying to figure stuff out. Well, this is a handy dandy place to figure that stuff out. Send them right over here. There it is. Got it. Thanks, folks. See you later. For N6 Psych.